I'm sitting in my room, listening to my parents downstairs packing for our annual family reunion. I'm not packing, though, because I'm not invited. My own parents told me I'm not welcome this year. Their reasoning: I now use a wheelchair, and they believe my presence would spoil the event for everyone else. They said my cousins are all healthy and joyful, and they don't want anyone to see me in my current state. For some background, I'm a 22-year-old guy. Until last year, I was just like the rest of my family, active and able-bodied. But 6 months ago, a car accident left me with a spinal injury. I can't walk anymore, so I rely on a wheelchair. It's been a massive adjustment. After rehab, I moved back in with my parents since I still need occasional help with daily tasks. I've been working hard to adapt. I manage most things independently, though I can't drive yet and sometimes need assistance reaching high shelves or navigating certain spaces. My parents seem to be handling it, or so I thought. They've never been outright harsh until now, but there's been a noticeable distance. Since I returned home in the wheelchair, there's this quiet tension. They assist with practical tasks when asked, but emotionally, they've been detached. I assumed they were just overwhelmed or unsure how to cope. Every year, my dad's side of the family hosts a huge reunion at my grandparents' countryside home. It's a big deal. Around 30 relatives show up, including aunts, uncles, and cousins of all ages. We have a barbecue, play games, and take a big family photo. It's been a tradition since I was a kid and one of the best parts of my year. This would be the first major family gathering since my accident. I was eager to reconnect with everyone. Last year's reunion was canceled because my grandpa was ill, so it's been 2 years since I've seen most of my extended family. I wanted to catch up with my cousins and show them I'm still the same person. I was a bit anxious about attending in a wheelchair, but mostly excited to see everyone. A few days ago, I noticed my parents whispering about the reunion. The invitation was pinned to the fridge, and they'd discuss travel plans, but they'd hush when I entered the room. It gave me a bad feeling. So yesterday I asked when we were leaving for Grandma's. The reunion is this Saturday, just days away, and what I should pack. They exchanged a glance, and my mom hesitated before saying, "Sweetie, about that, we think it's best if you don't come this year." I asked what she meant. Why wouldn't I go? We always go as a family. She avoided my gaze and mumbled that it might be too much for me, the long drive, all the people. She suggested I skip it this time. I knew that was nonsense. The drive is only a couple of hours, and I've managed longer trips in my wheelchair without issue. As for the crowd, it's my family. Why wouldn't I want to see them? I told her I was excited to go and could handle it fine. That's when my dad spoke up, getting to the real issue. He said my presence would cast a shadow over the event. His exact words were, "We want everyone to have a good time. Your cousins are all healthy and happy, and then there's you in that chair looking like you do every day. It'll bring everyone down." I was stunned. I sat there for a good 10 seconds trying to process it. I asked if he was serious. He told me not to take it personally, that they just wanted the reunion to be a positive, fun occasion. I said, "So I can't be part of that, because I'm not healthy and happy in your eyes?" My voice stayed calm, but inside I was reeling. It was like my brain couldn't grasp that my own parents were essentially saying they're embarrassed by me. My mom, tearing up, said it would be awkward for everyone to see me in a wheelchair, and that they were trying to protect me from feeling out of place. Protect me or themselves? It felt like they were more concerned about their own discomfort. The conversation went nowhere. They kept insisting it was for the best if I stayed home this time, even suggesting I could join in a year or two when I'm more adjusted. That made no sense. I'm as adjusted as I'll ever be. I use a wheelchair. That's my reality. I'm starting to rebuild my social life, but they treat me like I'm fragile or a burden. Eventually, I left the room because I was getting furious and didn't want to explode. In my bedroom, I broke down. I haven't cried like that in ages. I felt utterly betrayed and hurt. It's now the day after that argument. My parents are acting like it's all settled. They're downstairs, chatting about what food to bring and how to pack the car, as if they didn't just tell their son he's not welcome. They're leaving Friday night for the weekend, expecting me to stay home alone for 3 days. I'm physically capable of managing by myself, but that's not the issue. I'm so hurt and angry I can't even face them. I ate breakfast in my room to avoid them. I never imagined my own parents could be so callous. Do they not see how cruel it is to exclude me from a family event? I keep thinking about the fun I used to have with my cousins at these reunions, and now my parents think I drag everyone down just by existing. I guess I'm that pitiful in their eyes. I haven't told anyone else in the family yet, I don't know how to bring it up. I'm worried my parents might have already spread a fake story, like saying I'm unwell. The thought of them hiding me like a shameful secret makes me sick. I feel so alone and humiliated. I'm debating whether to call my grandparents or an aunt and explain what's happening. Would they even believe me? I don't want to cause drama, but this is so wrong, and keeping it to myself is driving me nuts. I can't get to the reunion alone since I can't drive, and it's 2 hours away. If my parents won't take me, I'm stuck. I've never felt so betrayed. The people who are supposed to love me unconditionally basically said I'm an embarrassment because I'm disabled. I'll be alone all weekend while my family enjoys the reunion. This just hurts. Update 1: something happened soon after I shared this, and it's a big improvement. I hadn't decided whether to reach out to family, but I didn't need to. This afternoon, my Aunt Linda, my dad's older sister, who I've always been close to, called me unexpectedly. She said she'd just spoken to my mom, who claimed I was under the weather and chose to stay home. I was floored. I told her that wasn't true, I'm perfectly fine. Then I spilled everything, maybe more than I should have, but I was so hurt I needed someone to know the truth. I told her what my parents said about me ruining the reunion. There was a long pause, then Aunt Linda let out an angry huff. She said she'd suspected something was off because I never miss a reunion, sick or not, and the idea of me staying home without even texting my cousins seemed odd. She apologized profusely and said she couldn't believe my parents would do this. I got emotional again while talking. She kept saying it was unacceptable and promised I'm absolutely wanted at the reunion. I asked if she was sure, saying I didn't want to cause a scene. She replied, "Sweetheart, you're wanted. If your parents are ashamed of their own son, that's their problem. The family loves you and can't wait to see you." Her words were such a relief. After feeling like a burden, having a family member so firmly in my corner was overwhelming in the best way. Aunt Linda said she'd call my grandparents, who are hosting, to set the record straight and ensure my parents' "he's sick" story didn't stick. She also promised to handle logistics to get me there. Since I can't drive, she'll pick me up Saturday morning on her way. The reunion starts around noon, and she lives an hour away, so it works perfectly. We agreed not to tell my parents I'm coming. She thinks, and I agree, they might try to stop me if they know I have a ride, so they still think I'm staying home like their little secret. They're in for a surprise. After talking to her, I felt so much lighter. I went from despair to hope in hours. I owe a lot to those who suggested reaching out to family. You were right. I'm glad it happened organically. The plan is set. Aunt Linda picks me up Saturday, and I'm going to the reunion. She promised to stick by me and help with anything I need. Knowing her, she's probably already preparing accessibility gear. I'm still nervous about potential drama, but for now, I'm hopeful. I'll update again soon, especially if things get messy when my parents find out, because they will, and it won't be pretty. Update 2: as predicted, things blew up. It's Friday evening, and I'm in my room, still rattled but okay. My parents, however, are furious. Aunt Linda didn't stay quiet. I'm not sure who confronted them first. Maybe Grandma, who's terrifying when angry. But by this afternoon, my parents knew I'd told the family the truth. I was in the kitchen getting a snack when my dad stormed in, face red, waving his phone. I knew the drama had begun. He started yelling, "How could you tell everyone? You had to make us look awful." He was mad that I'd embarrassed them. Apparently, my grandparents are furious, and my mom's been getting calls and texts from upset relatives all day. Good. He shouted that I'd made them look like terrible parents. I snapped back, saying I only told the truth. If that makes them look bad, maybe they should reflect on why. That didn't go over well. My mom started crying, saying I'd betrayed them and asking how I could do this. I reminded her they excluded me and lied about it, and I had every right to tell the family. Dad kept ranting about how I'd humiliated them and claimed I'd ruined the reunion. I don't believe that. Linda says everyone's angry at them, not me, but they can't admit that. I told them I'm going to the reunion, that Linda's picking me up. Dad stared like he couldn't believe I was defying him. Mom said I'd make things awkward for everyone. I replied that the only awkwardness would come from everyone knowing what they did. It was a heated argument. Dad threw up his hands and said, "Fine, do what you want, but don't expect our help. If you want to make a scene, go ahead." Mom, still sobbing, said she couldn't believe I'd put them through this. They stormed off to their room. I'm still shaking from the adrenaline. I've never confronted them like that before, and it felt both good and upsetting. The plan hasn't changed. Linda's picking me up tomorrow at 9 a.m. no matter what. She texted to confirm and said my grandparents are livid at my parents, and the family can't wait to see me. Grandma apparently said the reunion isn't complete without all her grandchildren. My parents left earlier than planned, peeling out of the driveway an hour ago, probably to avoid me. I'm alone tonight, packed and ready. I'm nervous but also defiant. Linda sent heart emojis and told me to rest. I'll try, but I'm wired. Thanks to everyone who validated that my parents' actions were wrong, it's helped me stand my ground. Update 3, I'm back from the reunion and it was incredible, way better than I hoped, at least for me. My parents, not so much. Here's how it went. Linda arrived Saturday morning, right on time. She hugged me tight and helped load my wheelchair and bag into her SUV. The 2-hour drive was nerve-wracking, but she kept me calm, chatting about how excited everyone was. She wore a bright, cheerful outfit, like she was ready to fight negativity with color. It worked. I was more excited than scared by the time we reached my grandparents' farmhouse. Cars were already parked out front, kids running around. I felt a twinge of nerves rolling out of the car, but within seconds, 2 teenage cousins ran over, smiling, offering to help. They guided my wheelchair down a ramp Linda brought. As we neared the backyard, I heard cheers and clapping. My family was literally applauding my arrival. It was overwhelming but heartwarming. Grandpa gave me a big hug, saying, "Good to see you, kid." Grandma, teary-eyed, kept hugging me, saying I looked wonderful. Aunts, uncles, and cousins followed, offering hugs and hellos. After feeling unwanted for weeks, it was incredible to be welcomed. I saw my parents off to the side under the patio. Mom's eyes were red and Dad looked grim. They didn't approach me, which I expected, but everyone else did. My younger cousins, the youngest being 8, were curious about my wheelchair for about 5 minutes, asking blunt, funny questions like if my legs hurt. I answered simply, and soon it was no big deal. The kids even fought over who got to push me, treating it like a game. We had a silly wheelchair race, me versus Linda in a spare chair. It was hilarious. The adults were great too. Many knew about my accident and checked in with genuine care, not pity. My great-uncle, a retired doctor, offered medical advice if I ever needed it. An older cousin called me an inspiration for showing up, which made me blush. During Grandma's lunch toast, she thanked God I was there and I got emotional. It hit me how close I came to missing this and how wrong my parents were. My parents kept their distance. Dad hung out with his brothers, quieter than usual. Mom helped in the kitchen, and I caught Grandma giving her a stern talk once. There was underlying tension, but no one said much to me directly. Later, my grandparents called a private meeting on the porch with me, my parents, Linda, and a few others. Grandma said they loved my parents but were disappointed in their actions. Grandpa was blunt, saying excluding me was unacceptable and demanding an apology. Dad stared at the floor. Mom, crying, mumbled she was sorry and didn't mean to hurt me. I said I appreciated the family's support and told my parents to look around. Everyone was glad I was there except them. Linda added that isolating me would have been far worse. After the meeting, the mood lightened. My parents left early, saying Mom felt unwell. Everyone else carried on, and we took the family photo with me front and center, per Grandma's insistence. The cousins jokingly told my parents to squeeze in the back. Despite the drama, the reunion was amazing. Food, games, and late-night movie laughs with cousins. I'm writing this from Linda's guest room as I wasn't ready to face my parents. She said I can stay as long as I need. I'll probably head home soon to get my things, but I'm dreading it. I'm exhausted but happy. My cousins already planned an accessible get-together next month, calling me the VIP. Thank you all for the encouragement. It gave me the strength to go. Final update, it's been a week since the reunion, and I want to close out with what's happened with my parents. I stayed at Linda's for 2 nights, needing space. When I returned home to grab more stuff, it was tense but quiet. Mom immediately said, "I'm sorry." Dad softly said they were sorry too. I wish I could say we had a big reconciliation, but it wasn't like that. I nodded, said I appreciated it, but the hurt remains. Mom cried, saying they never meant to harm me and struggled to cope. Dad barely spoke, which he does when guilty. I told them their actions broke my trust. I said I'd be staying with Linda for now. Mom agreed it might be best. Dad nodded. I've moved into Linda's ground floor guest room, which they've made accessible. I'm not sure if this is temporary or permanent, but it feels right for now. I haven't talked much with my parents since. Mom texted once, asking if I'm okay and saying to come home when ready. I'm still too hurt and need time. I'm not closing the door, but rebuilding trust will take serious work, and I'm not sure I'm ready for that. On a brighter note, my extended family has been amazing. Cousins text and FaceTime daily, inviting me to hang out with rides offered. My grandparents called twice, saying I'm welcome anytime. Grandma even suggested next year's reunion might be at Linda's for accessibility. My parents' attempt to isolate me backfired. I'm closer to my family than ever. Thanks to everyone who supported me here. Your words gave me the courage to stand up for myself and attend the reunion. I wouldn't have done it without you.